Do you guys know how when you finish an argument, end a discussion, or something happens, and after the fact, after it all happens, after everything's been said, you later think, oh my god, I could have said that. I should have said that. I was thinking about coming out and how now that it's been like 10 years almost, kind of thinking about my coming out, I'm like, wow, it could have maybe went smoother, maybe I could have done something different, like etc. But then at the same time, you can't really sit and dwell on like what it could have been, what you could have said, because you shouldn't really sit in the past like that. But it gave me the idea, if I was able to talk to my 15-year-old self again, what advice would I give him? Exhibit A, I have my notes right here. So I have like more or less 5 like tips or things that I wish I could have advised myself on. But that's the beauty of life. You learn through experience, you learn through doing. And now I know a few things. If I had a time machine or a way to get a message to my older self, these are just some things I would have said. So I was telling myself, I'm like, I have these acrylic paints at the office, and they're not mine, and I've never used them. But I'm like, you know what, let me just grab like a box, literally a box, something to paint on, and I'm just gonna fuck around, you know? Okay, the first thing is, there isn't a perfect time or a sweet spot. Only what you feel is right for you. And I know that sounds very like, okay, bitch, yeah, every fucking like coming out video says the same shit. But honestly, I think it's very true. So let me take you back to when I was 15. I think that when I realized, you know, that I was gay, you know, growing up in a semi-conservative, like Mexican household, coming out just girl, it wasn't gonna be a thing. I had the idea of like, you know what, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna have some sort of job, you're gonna have money, I don't know what I really thought, but I was just like, the goal was, be successful, be something, be someone. Just kind of to be this very, very, very perfect human, this very perfect thing to where, like, if your only fault is being homosexual, then, you know, you will be safer. Or maybe it won't hurt as much. Or it won't be as bad of a thing. I think that's kind of what I was thinking, maybe. That was my idea. It's like, okay, I'll go to college. All these things that society tells you to do. I'm like, I'll do exactly what they want me to do. LOL, I'm 25 now, and that did not happen, and I'm glad it fucking didn't. But I remember being 15 and, like, being more involved at school, more involved with yearbook. Like, I was out to, like, my female friends, my girlfriends, and they're honestly what made middle school, high school so much better, and in an okay place had it not been for them, girl. Because if I was truly alone during those times, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, that was the plan, and then that didn't happen. At 15, I was like, you know what? I think what was most important to me was that, like, if I was gonna start, like, being out or start, you know, popping off, not popping off, but, like, being myself in front of the school or whatever, which I kind of didn't even do. I didn't want people to find out, like, oh, you know, your son's out there doing this, or, you know, I didn't want my parents to find out about me being gay from someone else. In short, that's basically what my big concern was, because I'm like, you know, that's just a big slap in the face. That was just something that I was like, no, I'd rather them hear it from me rather than rumors or, you know, some bitch opening their mouth. My thinking, and I was like, I couldn't handle it no more. I couldn't do it. I had no backup plan. I guess I didn't think that they would kick me out or anything like that, because I didn't plan for anything. I don't know. I just felt something in me that was just like, this needs to come out. And then I did it. And it was really hard. And I felt like I was like, I'm not going to get too much into my coming out because I want to do a whole video on that. But basically I did it. And I'm kind of glad I did. It just happened how it needed to happen. I truly believe that. And that's why my advice to anyone else, or even my younger self, it's like, one, yeah, there's no perfect time. Part of me thinks, I'm like, if my parents were different, if I grew up seeing different things, like, you know, how media is today, I'm like, wow, would I have came out earlier? Would I have felt safer to do it? Would it have been a big deal? And, you know, maybe maybe, but I can't change that, nor do I want to. But that's my first advice. It's like, you know what, just you really think about your life, consequences, only you know. And whenever you feel like it, like whenever you feel it's right. And like, that's so cheesy and I hate saying that, but it's so true. Okay, number 2 is you don't have to tell everyone or make it a big deal. This adds a lot of unnecessary pressure. I feel this in my soul because coming out to my parents was like a big deal, and it was very traumatic for everyone. For everyone. And I just remember, like, part of the reason why I did it was because I'm like, okay, now at school I'm gonna, like, really be myself, and I'm just gonna, like, I don't know. I feel like around that time, everyone was filming, like, coming out videos. It was, like, a big thing, but there wasn't, like, Mexican or, like, Chicano, like, creators out there that were, like, doing coming out videos. They were all white people. Like, let's be so fucking for real. They were all white people. A big creator that I used to see a lot like that was Marky Miller. Shout out to him and Ethan. But there wasn't any, like, Hispanic, Latino, Chicano, like, not really. You know, if there was, I don't know. I didn't see them. But now on my YouTube, like on my For You, like, thing, on, like, the algorithm, you see a lot of people like me making coming out videos, and it's just, even other people of color too, like, it's just so amazing. It's like the videos that, you know, the youth will have to look on, like the representation, like, that is amazing. I wish I had that. I didn't have that. And also, like, just realizing, you know, throughout the years, just through my own journey, I'm just like, wow, I feel like in those early years I really put so much pressure, and I really, like, made it this big thing that I didn't really follow through because it was just so scary of me to do. And now I know that, like, you don't need to do that. You do not need to make a big party or make a big post. And I really have lived with that pressure, like, oh, I need to tell everyone, or, you know. And then I would try to, and you know what people do? I wrote it down here. The argument of, like, oh, you don't have to come out to everyone or whatever, like, what you do behind closed doors or what you do in the bedroom is your business only, blah, blah, blah. I don't like that argument because, like, what I get from that, like, what they're insinuating is that, like, yeah, you can be gay, do that gay shit, but, like, keep it behind closed doors. I don't need to know about it. Like, you don't show it off. Like, I don't need to see that. Like, you can do that, cool. It's like, it gives the energy of, like, yeah, I got a gay friend, or yeah, I know some gay, so it's okay if I do this, or whatever. I don't like it, because it's like, no, if I'm gonna wear a rainbow flag, or, like, go out with, like, my man, or, you know, PDA, like, appropriate PDA, or respectful PDA, or, you know, holding hands, or, like, just living your own life, not, you know, worried about what other people are gonna think. That's not me shoving down the gay agenda down your throat. That's not me, like, exposing and showing you, like, forcing you to see what I do behind closed doors. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's why I don't like that argument. I'm like, bitch, like, if I want to come out or be out or proudly be myself, that's not me doing that. And I don't like that argument. That's what I get from it. I don't know. And now that I know that, like, you don't have to do this big gesture, this big grand thing, like, I feel like once I learned that or accepted that, I just felt more at ease, you know, just like, okay, you can be yourself. You don't have to do what the other Ks are doing or, like, feel like you have to fit this mold. Like, whatever comes natural to you, that is you, dude. That is you, and that is beautiful, and that is valid. So, in short, my second piece of advice is just don't make it harder on yourself. Don't overcomplicate it. Coming out is very much like a process that is unique to you, how you want to do it, who you want to, you know, how out you want to be. You don't have to follow what anyone else has done or what you see. It's very much just whatever feels authentic to you. I just gotta say, oh, bitch. Oh my God, thank you, God. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen from Michigan. Thank you so much for your order. Thank you, girly. I'm gonna package it after I do this. My third piece of advice is that healing isn't a straight line. I feel like we all know this. It isn't like you start to heal, and then you're just gonna like, it's gonna be, easy, like a straight, line. Healing is very much like rocky. It's like some days you feel better, some days you don't, some days. So I feel like the coming out process, it's just the same. Just because you decide that, okay, I'm gonna be myself now, or show people myself, and I'm gonna come out. When I came out to my parents, when I thought that's what I thought, and then the reality was very much not like that, because then you realize, oh wait, you have to come out all the time to all these kinds of people, and sometimes you don't necessarily want to, or you don't feel safe to. It's just I wrote, it'll be hard sometimes. It won't end. It won't end. Being out isn't definitive. Just really depending on life, where life takes you, people, places. Like, yes, ideally we want to be ourselves all the time. Like, I very much try to do that. But girl, there are just some, let's say that you're in an environment where, like, I hate to say it, girls, I hate to say it, but it's men. It's always men. Let's just say that there's an environment where you just don't feel 100% comfortable, and let's say that you don't feel 100% comfortable being like yourself, or maybe you just feel like, hey, they don't have to know about my, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like, I feel like when I came out, I thought that, like, okay, I'm gonna come out the closet, and then I'm gonna shut the door and never look back. But then the reality hits you, and it's like, well, coming out isn't like that. Because every single time you meet someone, there is that, like, oh, I'm also gay, or I'm also queer, or, there's those conversations. So, you're always having to kind of come out. That even though you're ready to come out and you're ready to just go for it, just be aware that, and it's okay if some days you just don't feel safe enough to be 100% you. Like, I used to just have so much shame around that. Like, oh, you want to be out, this and that and the other thing, but look at you, you're hiding, or, oh, you're scared. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's one thing to work on, right? Because you don't want to live like that, but also we gotta live in reality. And if it's something we have to do to keep ourselves safe, to not completely come out to certain people, or, just hold off on a few things, don't make yourself feel like shit for that, because I feel like I've done that. And I've tried to, like, let that go, try to release that, and just know that coming out isn't like a straight line. It isn't like definitive. It isn't like a before and an after. It's kind of like this messy push towards one direction. And sometimes you kind of feel back, sometimes you feel a little bit pulled back, sometimes, it's just murky. It's just very much like a weird flow, but it is not like black and white. So that's one thing I learned that I didn't know when I was 15. My fourth thing is be yourself first and foremost, without apology, without excuses. And this is what I found to be the easiest for me and easier for others. And it kind of goes with number 2, where you don't have to tell everyone. What I meant with this one is kind of like the pressure of, like, oh, having to come out, having to make a statement, having to make like a coming out video, or I think back then people were doing like coming out party or some shit like that. I don't know why I remember that. But just the pressure. It's just like, you know what? Just being yourself. If you're like more masculine, just be that. If you're more feminine, just be that. If you like makeup, go for it. Like, going back with number 3, if you feel safe enough, like, and if you don't, or if you don't feel safe all the time to be yourself, like, that's valid, and that's your own journey. What I found easiest is you don't have to say it. You can just be. So if you show up to somewhere, like, with your man, and people are like, whoa, is that his boyfriend? Is that your roommate? Is that your boyfriend? Yeah. Or, oh, wow, he's wearing, like, these like clothes that are for women. Like, is he, the girls like to say zesty. The fuck is that? Fruity, or whatever the fuck, like, whatever yeah. Later on in life, I would say maybe it was like, what, 21, 22, 20, more recently, I guess, I really, like, learned that, like, you know what? Just just be yourself and let your actions speak for you, I guess. Let your character speak for you. But it's kind of like, maybe it was my best friend, Lalo, who died in a terrible car accident. He was one of the very first, if not the first guy who ever, like, truly appreciated, truly saw me, truly, dare I say, loved me for me, without being weirded out or without making me feel like I was something else. Because, God knows, straight men love to make you feel like that. Like you're just this other thing that they just can't relate to, that they just can't understand. And I felt like he was the first guy to not make me feel like that, and that was incredible. And I feel like that's what taught me, if you just are yourself, you will attract the right kinds of people, and that's easier said than done. And I feel like if you just show up as yourself in society, in front of others, they'll have no other option than to just accept you. And not accept you, but it's just like, oh, okay. I feel like one of my issues with like coming out, for people was just like making something small like such a big deal. So I remember like in the coming out videos, I don't know if you remember, but I remember that time. It was just like everyone was like, oh, like this bit. It was just like this big thing. And that gave me so much anxiety, which is why I was like, oh my God, what? I don't want to do this. But like, you don't have to, guys. You don't have to. But I feel like just being yourself, just living your life, it takes that pressure off everyone. It takes a pressure off you. It takes a pressure off like other people. So then like, if you just show up to the function, like just being who you are or showing up with someone or whatever, then people have no other choice but then to be like, oh, okay, he's gay. Oh, okay, all right. And you know what the crazy thing is? I feel like a big fear I had was that confrontation, that bringing it to your face. Because then it's kind of like you're kind of just going to someone and be like, hey, I'm gay. And then you're kind of like, okay, cool. Or it's like, what do you expect them to do? What to say? You know what I mean? So I feel like when I was younger, there was that pressure to like do something big. But now I'm like, hey, you don't have to do that. You can just exist as yourself, and people can either take it or fucking leave it. And the crazy part, at least for me, I think I had that fear of like, oh, like, but what are people gonna say? And then people are gonna, people are gonna talk shit, people are gonna make fun of you, like yeah, some things have came back to me, that's why I know that. But trust me, they're not gonna say it to your face. Like, more often than not, they're not gonna say shit to your face, because people are fucking two-faced like chickens. More often than not, they'll talk shit about you to other people, but they're not going to say it in front of your face. And if they do, wow, good for them. They have balls. They have the balls to do that. Good for them. At least like y'all had the balls to do it. Because there's shit that I've heard about myself from other people. Wait. My point is that things have gotten back to me about what someone said or like what someone thinks. And I'm like, LOL, like, say it to my face, bitch. Like, say it to my fucking face. Like, I'd love for you to do that. It's like, they won't. And it's okay. That's why it's like, I feel so much better about being out, because it's like, what do you want me to do? Like, and growing up gay, you have that fear of not being accepted. You have that fear of like, yeah, what are they gonna say? You have that fear that religion also brings in, to where, well, damn, like, people are gonna think this about me, and it's like, that's not the tea, that's not the truth. So you kind of just have to accept all that like the opinion about you from other people, you just have no control over it, so you have to let it go. So that's why learning that really helped me, like, it really has. This brings me to my last point, which is, you are so much more than your sexuality. Yes, it becomes the focus. Okay, so like when you're young, like when you're figuring it out, like, yeah, it becomes like the focus. It becomes this big thing. It becomes so important. But you have to remember that you are human. That you're a human being. There's so much more to that. There's so much more to you. What I was saying here is that, or you know what? I'm going to tape it on this. Hold on. Okay, so basically what I meant by this is that because of the society we live in, we grow up hating ourselves, we grow up denying ourselves, we grow up having to deconstruct, like just kind of, there's like a lot of mental things that goes on whenever you grow up thinking that a big part of you is just so wrong, due to society, due to religion. So there's just like a lot of work that goes into like accepting yourself and loving yourself, like truly loving yourself. It's just a whole journey. So when someone does make it, I feel like I've gone through that journey. So, and I'm not done, but I'm still going through it. But I feel like if you get to maybe where I'm at right now, where I feel good I feel good where I'm at right now, I'm like, bitch, I've been through a lot. And other people have too. So when you see someone who's out, who's proudful, who's, has pride, like, bitch, they went through a lot to get there. Analyzing, just second guessing yourself, hating yourself, deconstructing, just tearing yourself apart, and then like finding yourself, and then accepting yourself, and then building yourself, and then forgiving yourself, and then healing yourself, and then just, it's this whole like, girl, it takes a whole toll on you. And to finally get to the point where like, this is who I am, and now I want you to see it, and now I don't want to hide, and now I just want to live life just being me without worrying about others and etc. Like when you get to that point, you've already done so much that sometimes you think, like the regular person, I want to say like the regular heterosexuals, they just don't go through that. And I thought this like the whole time until recently, and I was like, well, in a way, yes, they don't go through the same thing, right? But in a way they kind of do, because I didn't realize, but I mean, a lot of people have to go through accepting themselves. But I feel like for straight people, it's more like their dreams. It's more like, or who they are. Like a lot of straight people don't find themselves. They don't accept their inner like truest desires. They have so much fear, they don't go for it. They live miserable. And this is not everyone, girl, please. Like, I'm not straight, the fuck do I know? I just know from what I've seen, and I'm like, oh, straight people have their own version of coming out. Not with their sexuality, but coming out with like who they are. And that's what coming out is. It's like showing you like your authentic self, you just bringing yourself out and being on the world stage and being like, guys, this is me. Take it or leave it. I feel like as gay people, we go through that journey early. And it's painful and it's rough. And that's why I feel like we're very much so in tune with our purpose. If we get through it, I feel like we do. I feel like that's why a lot of people think that we're very strong and we're very like, we know what we want and we're very creative people. I was just thinking, I'm like, damn, a lot of pop stars are like bi queens or a lot of like successful artists are queer, gay, like whatever, like, or bi, I'm like, there's a reason, because it's like they've gone through that journey of just really finding themselves, like accepting themselves. That journey, bitch, that journey is rough, girl. That journey is rough. And I feel like a lot of straight people, even if they have like this big creative dream, whether it be like music, acting, art, YouTube, like whatever it is, I feel like a lot of straight people just don't go through that door. It's just too much. And they just settle. Girl, they just settle. They settle for what is expected out of them, what society wants out of them. They put their dreams on hold. They don't ever, I don't know, but it's just like, wow, in a way, that's what a lot of, like, girl, let's clock the tea. That's what a lot of bi guys do. And I'm not a bi guy. So this is me, speaking about things maybe I truly don't know, but what I've seen is I'm like, oh my God, I know a lot of bi guys that they won't ever come out. They have no intentions of coming out. And as far as the world knows, they're straight. But it's like, bitch, I know they're not straight, girl. Trust me, I know they're not straight. And wow, I don't know their journey. I haven't walked their shoes. I don't know what they have to go through. They've denied a big part of themselves, and they're going to continue to do it. And I think that's so sad. And that's what a lot of straight people go through, except instead of their sexuality, it's their hopes and dreams that won't ever see the light of day. And I feel like that, what's her name? Julia Cameron says, that inner artist that is in all of us, they just like, or that inner creative child, like they just kill it. Or just repress it and shrink it and shrink it and shrink it. And I feel like that's why a lot of people live a miserable life. And I don't want to live a life like that. So even though we come out, with our sexuality, even gay people, I'm pretty sure there's like gay people who come out or whatever are out, but that inner child, that inner creative doesn't come out. They don't nurture it. So really, it's just a human thing, girl. It really just is. Like, it doesn't even matter, straight, gay, bi, like, it doesn't matter, Dang. Okay, and when I wrote in the corner the last thing, I'm like, everyone comes out, but not everyone has everyone comes out, but not everyone has the heart to do it, so I guess not everyone comes out, but it's kind of like everyone has to come out in a way, like I said, like, not in terms of sexuality, but, like, just choosing to be your authentic self, that is so difficult, and not everyone does it. Not everyone does it, and it's hard. So if you're watching this video trying to find like advice and help to like, oh, I want to follow that dream that no one believes in except me, or that no one knows that I have, or I'm gay, bi, lesbian, whatever, and it's like no one knows, and no one understands me, no one's gonna accept me. Like, if you, whatever journey you're on, and you're looking for help, and you're looking for ways of just like breaking that shell, and just like, I got to do this, something in me is just pulling me to just like show it, to just go for it, to just whatever, like, girl, let this be your sign. Do it. Just do it. Just go for it. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not going to. And however, like going back to my first point, whatever you think feels right for you, just do it. This looks crazy. What would you call this? Wait a minute. I'm kind of seeing, like, this is a mountain, like, the dark sky. I don't know what the fuck this is. This is maybe, like, trees and this, like, water. Is anyone else getting the vibe? I don't know. This was really fun because I was overcomplicating it. Again, I was overcomplicating the simple. I needed to do an artist date, and I was like, fuck, I don't know what to do. So I'm glad I did this. So I'm gonna mark it off my fucking checklist. Like, I did this week's artist date. So basically, I hope you guys get something out of this. I would love to hear, like, please comment below. I would love to hear your guys' journey. Where you are at in your journey of coming out. Like, whether that be your sexuality, whether that be like your inner child, your inner creative, like, what struggles are you having? What part of the journey are you on? What advice would you give anyone? And this is for my younger self, which I can't believe is like 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I really thought I would be like in some other place, like ultra successful, ultra fucking rich, and that I would come out now. And can you believe that shit? Like, oh no, I'm glad I came out way back then, because it's been a process with my parents and even with myself, like finding myself, accepting myself. I'm still doing that. And this is part of it. So yeah, if you guys want to see my coming out video, or like how my coming out, I kind of recorded it once and it didn't come out good. I think I tried to do it in Spanish. Anyway, but yeah, subscribe.